Bob's Red Mill, and today I'm in the kitchen making cobbler. This is one of my favorite recipes from when I was a kid. This is one of those great recipes to have on hand because it is minimal ingredients. It comes together really fast, and it's kind of a showstopper in that, you know, it's got all the good stuff. You've got cake, you've got fruit, and you can put ice cream on it, and kind of all the great things. I thought beforehand, which made me so proud, to freeze a bunch of fresh berries that I had. I purchased a lot of them and thought I could eat them way faster, and of course, you know, I have kids in the house and they decided they weren't interested in the fruits that I bought that particular time. So I froze a bunch of them, and so we're going to use them in this recipe. But to start with, what we need to do is I put butter in my casserole dish. I'm going to put this in the oven so that it can start melting while we mix our flour together. So put this in the oven, and I'm going to turn it to 375 degrees, and we will get to mixing. This recipe goes really well with either our regular all-purpose flour or the 1-to-1 flour. This already has the binders in it, so you don't have to add anything extra. And in this measuring cup, I already have my milk, so I'm just going to set that aside for a minute. And I'm going to take, I have sugar here, and then I have my flour. These are equal parts, so it's 2 cups and 2 cups. Don't want to miss any of that. And I'm going to grab my whisk, which I should have grabbed beforehand. Sorry about that. You get to hear all the clattering. And I'm going to mix this together a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and add my baking powder and salt to this as well. And that way we can get everything mixed together. And I probably could have picked a smaller bowl to do this in, but you know, my dishes are a little out of control right now. So I picked what I had. Mixing. This is really good for either using canned fruits when you don't have fresh fruits available for you. So I keep a stash. Like I said, this is one of those that I'll throw together when I have people coming over and maybe I didn't really think ahead and was just going to have a casual gathering. And so I'll just throw this one together and you have dessert real fast. And it's also one that I throw into the oven like right as we sit down to dinner, because when you do that, after dinner, you have a nice hot dessert waiting for you, and you just grab the ice cream out of the freezer when it comes out, and give yourself a good scoop on top. Okay, so that's all mixed together. I am going to throw this, ever so gently, into my milk, which those that know me, I am like a bull in a china shop, so there's always a mess that needs to be cleaned up after I'm cooking. And again, with my whisk, mixing. I know I've mentioned it before, but the whisk is my favorite tool in the kitchen. Gets everything nice and mixed together. I will say that sometimes a trick that I will do, and I will put this note in the recipe. Sometimes people will talk about especially rice flour blends, not really soaking up all the liquid. If I have enough time, I will go ahead and soak my flour with most of my milk and put it in the refrigerator. And then with just a little bit of milk and a little bit of flour, I'll mix in my baking powder right before I put it in the oven. It's kind of tricky. You just don't want to add the baking powder too soon because that's going to lose some of its leavening power. So, but this is a great way to be ready on the fly and also soak your flours. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add my vanilla and vinegar. So the thing about, and you can see it, although I'm not sure you can see it there, but this causes a reaction with the baking powder and makes your gluten-free baking a lot fluffier. So I love adding the apple cider vinegar to it. You can't taste it, and you know, if you're scared, you can also go a little bit light on it, but I highly recommend it just because lemon juice also, I should say, you can use that as well. It just needs an acid. But again, I highly recommend it because it does help with that leavening. It activates the baking powder and gives you a nice fluffy batter. So it's all mixed together, and as you can see, I've got nice little bubbles going on in there. So this, now that we've got everything incorporated, we are going to pull our dish out of the oven. Let's see. And, oh yeah, got melted butter in here. I'm just going to swish that around. Get it all over the place, because what's going to happen is that's going to be used as our non-stick side, but also gives you that nice buttery flavor. Now I did use almond milk in this recipe, and I'm also using a dairy-free butter, but you can use regular milk and regular butter if you want to. Feel free to do whatever you need to do for your dietary needs. Our family is dairy and gluten-free, so it just helps out, because we definitely want to enjoy this. Okay, so from here, without burning myself, I am going to move this here and pour the batter in. So you're going to pour the batter into the butter. It starts to sizzle. Love that sound. Okay. Get that all in there. Again, this is one of my favorite recipes because it is so versatile. The other day I bought peaches. I got a little excited for summer, and I probably got way too excited for it because they weren't quite ready yet. So I roasted those peaches, which if you've never done that is amazing too. You just roast the peaches beforehand and then make your batter, and you can pour it on top if you want to. But for here, I'm going to take my mixed berries and I'm just going to evenly distribute them all around, making sure I can get some of these blueberries. So this is a mix of strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries. And I don't know if you've ever frozen fresh berries before, but it's a nice way to enjoy that flavor for a little bit longer. You just lay them out on a sheet pan lined with either parchment paper or a Silpat, and you're good to go. Just put them in the freezer for about an hour, let them freeze up, and put them in a Tupperware or whatever you store your stuff in the freezer, and you are good to have fresh berries for a little bit longer. And let's see. I don't even think I'm going to need all of these. All right. And from here, we are going to take this and put it in the oven at 375 degrees, and we're going to bake it off probably for about 30 to 40 minutes. It really just depends. The berries are frozen, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a leeway, but what you're looking for is a nice cakey layer on top, because the cake part is going to bake over your berries, and so you'll have that nice mix of ooey gooey berry and cake, and also just the really nice cakey layer. So I'm going to get it in the oven, and then from there we will check it out when it comes out. Okay friends, timer just went off. We're going to pull this cobbler from the oven. Let's see. It smells amazing in here. Oh, good grief. Also, it took about an hour. So I lied to you guys. So this takes, normally it will take me between 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the fruits, but because these were frozen, I think it probably melted within and then took a little bit longer, but completely worth the wait. I'll use these bad boys now. So this is incredibly hot. I'm gonna cut into it and show you. It is nice and cakey and bubbly. It's still bubbling over here. All right, where do I want to attack from? Let's attack over here. This guy looks like he's ready. So this is that perfect combination, and when it hits that ice cream, it is going to be nice and melty. Oh, all that fresh fruit. Yum. Okay. Oh, it just smells like summer. I'm so excited. All right, check it out. Nice and hot. You get your cakey pieces. You get your berries. Everything ready for a big old scoop of ice cream. I'm gonna let this cool for a minute before I do that. But that was it for this time. I hope you give this recipe a try, and if you do, let me know what fruits you use. Also, let me know of any other recipes that you guys are interested in having videos for. I'm happy to do that for you. And until next time, I'll see you later.